Joined now by Press Taylor, the new senior offensive assistant for the Indianapolis Colts. Press, you and Coach Reich go back to those Philadelphia days. How much of your relationship with Coach Reich was a factor in your joining the staff for the Colts?
It was a huge part of it. You know, obviously it has to work out where there's an opportunity, there's an opening here, and that did. But Frank's a guy that I've kept in touch with ever since. We had a great relationship working together in Philadelphia. We were able to win a Super Bowl together. And he's a guy I've always looked at as a mentor. We've kept in great touch through the years, and he was really the most attractive piece in terms of wanting to be here.
In the time that you two shared in Philadelphia, what did you see in Coach Reich that indicated that he would have success as a head coach and also be a guy who you might want to work for down the road should the opportunity present itself?
Well, it's the character and the consistency he shows every single day. He's the same person no matter what, the highs and the lows. You know, we went through tough times and good times there in Philadelphia, and you saw the same person every single day. He's passionate about the game, he's knowledgeable about the game, but he really invests in the people around him. And that's something that, as somebody that works underneath him, you can appreciate, you can respect, and it's something that you want to continue to work for.
One thing that we always hear Coach Reich emphasize is having a collaborative environment within his offense. How do you describe that dynamic of working with Coach Reich and newly named offensive coordinator Marcus Brady alongside the rest of the staff?
Well, it's something too. I think it's specific to each person and the way they are. And knowing Frank, knowing he has absolutely no ego whatsoever, it's all about what's best for the team, what's best for the offense in that situation. And then my interaction early on with Marcus, he seems the same way. And that was something Frank talked about too. And really all the guys around. You know, I have a relationship with Mike Groh as well. We got a chance to work together there in Philadelphia for 3 years. And so just seeing everybody and the way the guys that have been here, the way they work together, and then the way they're working to make sure everybody else feels included and has a voice, has a say, everybody's opinion matters. That's something that it's great to be around.
You mentioned Coach Groh. He came on staff a year ago, and then we also had Trey Burton, who came on last year as a part of the roster at tight end. And, of course, a lot of conversations surrounding the Philly special and winning the Super Bowl that you were a part of alongside Coach Reich there in Philadelphia. And I learned that you were credited with helping install that into the playbook. What was your role in designing the Philly special that ultimately helped win that Super Bowl?
Yeah, so at the time I was the assistant quarterbacks coach. Worked hand in hand with Frank. And going into our playoff run, we'd lost our quarterback to an ACL. We were playing with the backup. Frank came into my office, as we're getting ready for that bye week and just said, hey, we're going to need something to give us an edge. We're going to need some gadget plays, kind of give me your 5 best ideas. And having been, quality control, I've watched as much tape as anybody probably and had a lot of things categorized, a lot of ideas and things like that I'd seen around the league and had these examples, whether it's around the league or college football. And that was just one of the probably 5 ideas I presented to Coach Reich at the time. It was one that we felt fit some formations we'd been in, the personnel we had. Having a guy like Trey, that really makes you a lot more comfortable wanting to do that because he'll make the right decision. Obviously, it played out perfectly in the game, exactly like you could hope. But as you go through practice and you uncover some of the problems with it, Trey was the decision maker that we trusted with the ball. And then everything worked out well, and Frank was actually the one to give me credit for it. But again, like you said earlier, it was such a collaborative environment. All I did was present a play that somebody else had run. It was, the whole offensive staff taking it, molding it into something that fit our offense at the time, and then, ultimately Nick Foles and Coach Peterson getting it called in that critical situation in the Super Bowl, and then it worked out, and then players executed it to a T. So.
How much confidence does that instill in you when your offensive coordinator comes into you and says, give me your 5 best plays, what do you got, what can we work with?
Right, yeah, that's huge, and that's something Frank does. The way he communicates with people, no idea is too small, and so he's going to, again, it's collaborative. He's going to include everybody, make everybody, feel like your ideas matter to this thing, and the best idea is going to win. It's not about the way we've done things or who came up with the idea. It's just what works and what applies for us.
Sitting there watching it unfold, were you like, oh man, this really better work right here?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going to call a trick play in the Super Bowl on 4th and goal at the 1-yard line, it better work. And so especially something like that, and it worked out perfectly, and now it's just a great memory to have.
You mentioned taking inspiration from college football. You were a quarterback at the college level and broke into coaching at the University of Tulsa, but it took a little bit to get that first foot in the door. Tell me about getting that first opportunity and how that presented itself to ultimately put you in this position where you are now.
Yeah, I knew early on I wanted to coach. I could probably see the writing on the wall. My career wasn't going to continue after college, and I was okay with that. But I knew I didn't want my football career to end. Whether playing was over, I knew I'd move into coaching, and so started looking around for opportunities. I grew up in a college town. I grew up in Norman, Oklahoma, when Oklahoma was kind of at the peak.
Your dad played at Oklahoma?
Absolutely. My dad played, coached at Oklahoma. Oklahoma won the national championship in 2000. I was in 7th or 8th grade, so it was a great time to be in Norman. And it just kind of stoked that fire for coaching, really, for football. But it was something, I had an opportunity to be a graduate assistant at the University of Tulsa. Spent 2 years there, loved my time there, met my wife there, worked with some great people, but had an opportunity, met Chip Kelly at the time. He was still head coach at Oregon. He takes the Eagles job in 2013, called me, offered me a job. I showed up a week later and was fortunate to just kind of ride out a long career there in Philadelphia.
Coaching truly is the family business. Your brother is the head coach in Cincinnati with the Bengals, and this is the closest that you guys have been. Of course, in coaching, your careers are going to take you across different paths all across the country. How cool is it now to have the experience of being in such close proximity? And I'm sure nice for your parents as well. If they make a trip, they can just drive and visit the next one.
Yeah, I think our wives are probably the happiest because they have each other. So holidays and stuff, I'm sure they'll get together whether we're able to or not. That'd be great if we can, but it's great for them. It's great to be able to do that, to see each other's kids as they grow up and stuff like that, and just spend time together. It's definitely the closest we've been in 20 years, so we're excited about it.
Well, excited for your family and excited to have you as a part of the Indianapolis Colts. Welcome to Indy.
Thank you very much. Excited to be here.